Let's head over the bridge right now. We have Governor Phil Murphy of New Jersey joining us now over the phone. Governor, thanks so much for joining us.
Good to be with you both. Thanks for having me.
And how is New Jersey after this morning?
Not a typical Friday morning for sure.
Certainly.
But I think I'm knocking on wood here. So far, so good. I agree with your colleague in terms of things getting back operational. The reaction was swift and very impressive by the likes of the Port Authority, our state police opening up its emergency operations center, local and county officials. Again, so far, so good, but we're not taking any for granted, and we're going to expect aftershocks, et cetera. So we're still on high alert, as you can imagine.
You know, Governor, we talked to Adam Mueller, who's the mayor of Reddington, New Jersey. He said the 1760s grist mill had kind of major structural damage. Have you heard any reports of anything like that? And again, that would make sense. Something that old could be damaged with a quake this size.
You bet. We're hearing limited reports of damage like that. That's not to say there isn't structural damage on some of the, particularly these, as you rightfully point out, the older structures. But it is, at this point, 2+ hours into this, we're hearing limited, little to no injuries, thank God.
Good. Folks
basically using their common sense, which is the way to be on something like this, to not panic, but to be level-headed. And obviously, we're going to keep on this in the hours and days ahead.
And Governor, where were you, and did you feel the earthquake?
I am at a conference out of state, so I did not feel it. But our son is at home in Middletown, about 40 to 50 miles from the epicenter. Called us immediately and said, "I think we just had an earthquake." And he said it lasted for sort of 15 to 20 seconds, and it was a significant amount of jostling.
Governor, can you give us an idea of the review of vulnerable sites at this time in regard to infrastructure? What is happening right now with your emergency teams?
Well, the most important locus for both of that would be the Port Authority, and on the list of old structures would be the tunnels under the Hudson River. Mm-hmm. The rail tunnels were built finished in 1911. Which is why we're building 2 new ones. George Washington Bridge, your colleague reported, is back up and running. NJ Transit infrastructure. The air train, I think your colleague said at Kennedy, was still not operational. Same thing at Newark Liberty. They want to make sure the infrastructure there is sound. In the meantime, shuttle buses are being used. So then that review will go on. It won't just be via the state police or the Port Authority, but that'll be with local and county officials, and that will be over the next many hours, particularly as it relates to potential aftershocks, and then for the next many days ahead of us.
What do you think about this, Governor? The last time New Jersey had a quake this big was back in 1783. I was a young kid at that time. It's been over 100 years since we've had a quake like this, but people need to remember that it does happen.
Listen, this is another great reminder. Who saw a pandemic coming 4 years ago? Who saw an earthquake coming this morning? We got to live and learn. We just finished an independent assessment of our COVID actions, and the assessment was over 900 pages. And you have to live and learn from something like that. And the same thing will hold true here. You got to make sure we do a full post-mortem, determine where we were properly prepared, where we weren't, and make sure that we're stronger going forward.
Governor, what advice do you give the folks of New Jersey at this time? I mean, we've been talking about, there could be something that could happen, a week from now, whether it be cracks in your home or like we're looking at some video of cracks in the road. So is there something that you want New Jersey residents to know now, 2 hours plus after the earthquake?
Yeah. It's a great question. First, keep a level head. Secondly, use common sense. And if upon an eyeball inspection you see something that doesn't look right, make sure a professional knows about that. Expect that aftershocks are part of the whole reality with an earthquake. So don't be surprised if there's more jostling. And again, use common sense. I know Governor Hochul said in New York, if you're feeling like you're something starting to jostle. You don't want to be in a high rise. You don't want to be standing next to scaffolding or a building. That's common sense, and that we have less of the concentration of high rises, obviously, in New Jersey than New York City has. But you use your head, stay level-headed, don't panic, and do the smart, common sense-based thing.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, we thank you very much for taking some time to talk to us. Governor Murphy, thank you very much for giving us an update.
Thanks for having me.
We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.